I forgot completely what number you are. I think you're 27 or 28.
Why wasn't I number 1?
Because you didn't ask.
It's disrespectful to me. I brought you on first Wake Up Riverbend.
I know.
What the
I know, so rude. No, literally every single person has asked me, except for one, and that was the one that I went down and did in Springfield, Missouri.
Yeah.
So, but welcome to the podcast.
I'm happy to be here. You're my homegirl. You're my people.
Yes.
You're my sister. You know that? Yeah. We're making things happen together.
Absolutely.
I'm excited.
I put it out in the universe, I think it was like 2 years ago, because we've been together for a full year now.
Mm-hmm.
But that winter before we linked up, I was like, I want to meet someone that runs fast-paced and knows how to make money.
I'm fast-paced. Nobody's ever said that to me before.
So, yeah, I think you run at a, like, insane level. It's impossible to run at your same speed. It's fun to be in your area, because then it pushes me to run a little faster, but then I, like, look at you.
So, and that's all without drugs.
Yeah.
And very little alcohol. Let's plug Quick Trip.
Yeah.
You know, Quick Trip coffee. So I was at a deal. I was presenting to a big dealer group last week, and I brought my firstborn daughter, Annalie, with me because we did our annual daddy-daughter trip, and then I detoured it into Texas, and the dealer afterwards, he got a kick out of me bringing Anna. He thought it was cool that I brought my daughter. Yeah. And he's like, hey, let me ask you a question. Is your dad always this high-paced, this much energy? She's like, yeah, my dad's crazy. Yeah. So, yeah.
That's fun. Do you see any of yourself wearing off on your daughters?
So my firstborn is an exact replica of me.
Yeah, that's always how it is.
Like it is, there's times where my ex-wife will call me and she's like, Adam, I can't stand, you come get her. I can't handle her. She's you, get her out of my house. You know, like, and so Annalie is, her mannerisms, she'll get on a stage and speak like it's no big deal. She's into acting and speaking. She hasn't never met a stranger. Yeah, Annalie. My middle child, not so much. Yeah. My little, I don't know yet. Yeah. We'll figure it out. Oh, she's my girl, though.
That's exciting. So is that like what drives you, is your family?
You know, there's a couple of factors, and a lot of people are really quick to say my why is my family. Mm-hmm. And I'm not going to say my why are my daughters. And I'll kind of elaborate, because I think my why fuels my purpose. Mm-hmm. So the why adds fuel, but my why is just helping people become better. Like people need people. People get stuck. People have bad upbringing. There are people out there that are products of their parents in that environment that is set up for failure. So they need people like us to love on them, to help them get unstuck. So my why is my endless pursuit to help people get a little bit better today than they were yesterday. But those 3 little girls fuel that, because I want to leave a legacy and I want to leave them something then they can take and go help people. So if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So do you remember, like, way back whenever you first had your, like, real big moment where you were able to see a transformation in someone, where you actually were able to help them? Was that prior to Ascent? Or?
Yeah, it was. And a lot of it had to do, too, in the dealerships that I worked for. I'll use an example. I'll name drop a guy. He might even listen to this podcast. His name's Michael Rao. Michael and his family, he's got a beautiful wife, beautiful family, beautiful kids, 4 kids. Michael was he was in school to play baseball. And his father-in-law, Gordon, is the guy that got me into the business. And he came to me, he goes, hey, will you interview Michael? You know, young college kid looking to do something, he needs a job. And so we brought Michael in as a salesperson, and he wanted to do finance. But he did everything right on the sales floor, and we loved on him and mentored him. And I spent a lot of time in the closed doors of my office with him. And then we promoted him to finance, and then I trained him. And I watched Michael go from a little boy into a young man, into a full-blown adult, raising a family, income quadrupled, and changed his entire life. Just the way the way he was a father, the way he was a husband, the way he carried himself made me so proud. It was one of my first early on in my life like a success story that made me feel so good to see how good he was doing. And we hundreds and hundreds of people I've got to see. But yeah, I feel that feels awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the best feeling in the world when you see somebody's life just changed, you know?
I feel like the core that, at least what I look for whenever I'm training up people, you just have to have passion. You don't have to have it's nice whenever you have good qualities, you're able to do stuff. But if you're super passionate, you can do anything.
Passion's everything, you know, too. Even in the sales environment, people buy from people that are passionate about their products and services. Yeah. People can tell, like when you're trying to sell them something and you're not sold on that something that you're trying to sell, people can smell that. Mm-hmm. But if you're so passionate about your products, your service, your mission, your vision, people buy that. Yep. You know?
Personality is a huge, huge factor. I definitely, whenever I think about my time in buying cars at dealerships, that's the one thing I'm always terrified of is like, what kind of personality am I going to be dealing with within the dealership? But
there's a lot of different ones within a dealership. Mm-hmm. The great news about the car business is there's been a shift, and there's been a shift for the better. Yeah. The car dealerships 10, 15, 20 years ago, there's some that still operate, and there's dealers. There are certain dealers, heck, that aren't too far from here that are operating, you know, in the 70s still, right? But as a whole, dealerships are doing a much better job of servant leadership, putting the customer before themselves and truly helping their communities, which is a beautiful sight to see. So there's a lot of personalities, but the majority of them have a good servant leading heart behind them, you know?
So whenever you were a little itty bitty Adam, what was your dream job?
You know, I wanted to be a few things. At one point, I wanted to be a police officer, but then I wanted to be a chef. Like I love cooking.
Yeah,
you know,
I saw on your story last night.
Yeah, my first jobs were in restaurants as I got older. But when I was a little kid, if you were to ask me, I'd like to be a cook or a chef, you know. And then I ended up a car salesman. Yeah. From cook to car salesman. Well, I went from cook to car salesman. Here's what happened. So I didn't love high school. I loved the ladies. I loved going to the house parties in my, early on. But I didn't love school. Okay. So my junior and senior year, especially my senior, we'll just go to my senior, we'll skip junior. I had enough credits to where I went to school. I was in the co-op program. I went to school for a half of a day. I went to the local Italian restaurant, Cuso's Pasta and Pizza in Wood River. And so I cooked. So I'd go to school. My first semester I had PE and foods. Like that was my schedule. PE, foods. I mean, I got straight A's my senior year, let me tell you. And then I went to Cuso's and I cooked. My second semester, really a little bit more difficult schedule. I had PE and advanced foods. And then I went and cooked. Well, after I graduated high school, I went with my friend Nick Davenport to Panama City Beach. It was sometime in June. I don't remember the dates, but we go down to Panama City Beach, had a wonderful week's vacation. We did what 18-year-olds did. And came back into town, and Gordon goes, "Hey, Adam, good news, bad news." I go, "Okay, give me the bad," because we're closing the restaurant. I'm like, what's the good? He goes, "You're coming with me to the dealership." So he took me down to Dave Munganast, Alton Toyota Dodge, and I said, "No, I don't want to work here." I made the decision to go to the pasta house next door. So I was a cook at the pasta house, but everybody at Dave Munganast after work came to the pasta house to drink in the bar. Yeah. So it's like I was in front of these guys anyway. So they talked me into coming over to the dealership. I started off in the service department, cleaning cars as a porter. Then 3-4 months later, I became a salesperson, which immediately was a fit because I love talking to people. And so that's how it happened. It started from cook to car salesman, and that's what happened.
So have you worked in most positions within a dealership? Or?
Yeah, so I worked as a porter, then up as a salesperson. I always wanted to be a finance manager because I enjoyed doing loans and numbers and helping people. So then I got into a finance manager, then a finance director role. At Auto Centers Nissan, I was there for just a really long time. My owner is one of the most incredible humans on the planet. His name's Craig Schmitz, probably one of the guys I look up to more than anyone. If I'm struggling with business advice, he's the first person I call, number one, to this day. And he put a lot of pressure on me, not in a bad way, but he expected a lot out of me. And so myself and the sales manager, Pete, we were able to run that dealership together. Craig didn't even have to be there. I mean, he could take off for 3 weeks and we were running his store. So that's, I mean, I wore a lot of sales roles within the dealership and absolutely loved it. It was so fun.
I love how the universe didn't really give you much of an option to get you into this kind of category of life, I feel like.
Yeah.
So you also do many other things other than just car, automotive stuff. Yeah. You're also an owner of a martial arts gym.
Yeah, absolutely. All in family martial arts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when did that start?
So I'm a lifelong martial artist. So I started kickboxing in high school. I did that for 3 years, did some kickboxing and boxing, got away from that. And then I had a couple of friends that were doing mixed martial arts. Mm-hmm. And, you know, back then, like, you know, 2000, 2001, 2002 was not mainstream yet. It was kind of dark. You know, a lot of people, like, it's pretty frightening actually. And I went to a gym one day and I thought I was tough. I really thought I knew how to fight. Yeah, I didn't know how to fight. I had a guy, 145-pound, Todd Murphy is his name. He's a good guy. Just ripped me in half, put me in a pretzel. I mean, I left that gym with my tail between my legs going, oh my gosh, I am not tough. So then I was just really fascinated. So I started doing like the MMA stuff and did a few fights and did some kickboxing and, you know, and then I kind of got away from it a little bit. And then in 2011, I got into sport jiu-jitsu. I put the gi on under Kyle Watson, became just fascinated with jiu-jitsu. I competed for a long time, a lot, never ended. And then in 2017, I had the opportunity to open up my own academy here in Alton, inside of Nautilus Fitness Center. So Court and I, Court Wall, local just ace, we started the gym together, and we have just an incredible program for youth. Kickboxing, jiu-jitsu. I was there at the gym last night and got to train with my team, and it was just awesome. So we built something truly incredible for that community.
And I can definitely vouch for Court. We graduated the same class, so I got to watch him from not the very beginning, but from pretty early on, how much effort he's put into it too. So you got a great crew of people there.
Court is a blessing. He's the most humble person you'll ever meet. He's the most unassuming too. You could look at Court. I mean, Court don't go to bars, okay? We stay out of the bars. But like if Court was sitting in a bar on a Saturday night and somebody sized him up, they'd be like, oh, I'll kick his butt. Yeah, it's going to take 6 of you to do it, and you still may lose. Yeah, Court is just very lethal. And he's the sweetest, most humble. And what he does for the youth, like he pours into our youth. He's a true servant leader in our community, absolutely. You know. Yeah.
You're definitely giving him some opportunity, shine. So you do that. Is there any other type of martial arts that you have done that you are interested in learning?
You know, I would say no to that. Maybe with an asterisk of judo. So when I look at martial arts, and I'm not going to, I'm speaking out of my own personal truths here, and I'm not one to knock any martial arts, because whether you're in karate or taekwondo or whatever it is that you do and you love it and you have discipline, God bless you, because we need other outside factors in our lives to help us grow personally and professionally, mentally. So it's good to have a hobby, okay? But let's get to grassroots fighting. I look at martial arts that are realistic and to the world. And so I believe that everybody needs to know how to box, kickbox, wrestle, and do a little bit of jiu-jitsu. So I think jiu-jitsu trumps all things because it's the most realistic. Jiu-jitsu is a superpower. You could have somebody that's bigger and stronger than you that is untrained, and you can take that person and save your life. If you're attacked by somebody that doesn't know jiu-jitsu, you have a fighting chance. Now, when we're talking with knives and pistols and things of that nature, there's different training involved to handle that. But jiu-jitsu, wrestling, and boxing, if you understand how to throw your hands a little bit, how to block punches, how to throw punches, how to have some head movement, a little footwork, and you have a little bit of basic understanding of wrestling, takedowns and stuffing takedowns, and then you understand the basic mechanics of jiu-jitsu, you're a very confident and safe human being. So I mean, when it comes to martial arts, I'm a fanboy of jiu-jitsu. I think it trumps all martial arts, and I'll take that to the grave with me.
Are your girls trained?
Anna Lee has some basic knowledge of boxing. She's got some good hands. Annalie has basic jujitsu knowledge, but she's so committed to dance and acting and those things that I don't pull her from the things that she loves. But Annalie has some basic training. Arabelle has some, but here's what Arabelle has that Anna doesn't have. Arabelle's mean. Arabelle's tough. Arabelle's strong. She's built tough. I see Arabelle. I think if she committed to it, I think she could be very good. Very, very good. Aston, I don't know. We'll see.
She's a little baby.
We'll see. We'll see.
That's cute. So, automotive industry, martial arts, also wrote a book.
Yeah.
So, when did that first even like dig into your brain and like, I think I want to write a book? And then was it hard to put action to it?
Yes, I'll answer the second part. Yes, because I couldn't get out of my own way, and I'll allude to that in a second. I never thought I would write a book. I never even wanted to write a book. It wasn't something I was even remotely interested in until the day that I realized that I had to write the book. And I had to write the book because there are so many people in my community and people that I know that are stuck, and they just need another push. They need an outside. They need somebody else to share a story that they can relate with so they can look in the mirror and be self-aware to do something, okay? So when I decided to write the book was like maybe 90 days or 120 days after I had a moment in my bathroom where I was brushing my teeth. I titled my book, You're the Effing Problem, and the subtitle is, It's a Guide to Getting Out of Your Own Way. I got a lot of people back, especially from the Christian community. Why did you use the F word? First of all, let me say this. I love Jesus. Yeah. I love Jesus. I need Jesus. I am a Jesus freak, okay? I love the Lord, okay? The title came from a conversation I had with myself, and I felt I would be unauthentic if I didn't use the real stuff. And what happened was in 2019 in August, okay, so let's take you back in time. In February, my stepfather had a stroke on Friday and died on Sunday. In April, my best friend and business partner took his own life on April the 1st. In May, my grandfather, which is my ex-wife's grandfather, the patriarch of the family, the most incredible man I knew, lost his battle with cancer. And then the next month, my ex-wife and I filed for divorce. And then I'm living in a spare bedroom in my mother's house. She's grieving the loss of her husband. I'm grieving the loss of him and everybody else. I am absolutely, at this point in my life, not helping myself, okay? I actually put myself in a worse position, partying, in the bar scene, running around with the wrong crew, doing things that I shouldn't be doing, self-destructing. So now there was that season of self-destruction. You can call it woe is me movement. I had a woe is me movement, okay? I was looking in the mirror, brushing my teeth. I was so sick and tired of being sick and tired. I looked at myself in the mirror and I screamed, Adam, you're the effing problem. I made the decision in that moment to do something. I was so tired of myself. I got on my knees. I begged God to forgive me. I stopped hanging out with the wrong people and I started getting my stuff together. So fast forward 120 days, I was getting my life together, starting to have success. My company started to grow. Things started changing, started hanging out with better people. My life changed. I'm like, you know what? I need to share my story with other people because a lot of people stay stuck. They stay in the woe is me movement. They stay in the victim mindset movement. They do worse. They don't do better. So what if I share my story to help everybody that's in my position? I wrote that book for my community. I didn't write the book from a national standpoint. I didn't care about making money. Well, guess what? I started making money. Yeah. I made a lot of money on that book. That's crazy. And that book got me speaking deals all over the country. I'm on television channels. I'm going on a national show next month for the book still. Like all these things popped up. As a result, now I'm not only helping people in my community, I'm helping people all over the place. I got people in Australia calling me. I got people all over the place that are sending me messages. Adam, I needed to read your book because I'm in the same place right now. Yeah. And so anyway, yeah, it's been a really crazy, fun journey. But that book was written for people that are stuck. And I'm helping people get unstuck.
I think that takes a lot of vulnerability to open up about to open up about like the darkest point in your life and put it out there to the whole entire world. And that's something I feel like is very terrifying, is to be authentic and vulnerable, but that also creates space for other people to change their lives. So it's like real important to, even though if it's a little uncomfortable, to just do it.
You should. Why would you not? Because here's the thing. Nobody likes fake people. Why be unapologetic with your authenticity? Like, listen, like, you got one life. What does it really matter? I mean, I know you pretty well now, and we're getting ready to do more. We're partnering up on some projects. But if you really think about it, do you have more than 5 really close friends that are ride or dies? Yeah. I know you are a pretty popular young lady, okay? And you got a lot of people that are your friends or glorified acquaintances, but how many true, through your darkest hours, can sit around the table with you? I know for me, I got a handful of people. I don't have 40, 50, 100 people. I got a lot of friends, but I don't
care, but they don't know.
But the thing is, we should be super authentic and be vulnerable, because at the end of the day, we got one life where the minutes are passing by. Why not share your story and be real? How many people can you help by doing so? And that's why. That's why. Because what you're going through right now, somebody else is going through right now, and they need somebody like you that's already went through it so you can help them through it. So that's why we got to be vulnerable and share our stories.
Absolutely. It's not as bad once you get going.
Nope.
I was terrified to do, like, not just this interview, but like the whole idea of a podcast, talking for hours with people.
You're great at it, though.
Oh, yeah, it's fun now. Going into it, I was like, I have no fucking clue what I'm doing.
Yeah, but you're really, really great at it, and you're helping a lot of people. You are. And I'll say this is your podcast, but let me hijack it for a minute. I'm proud of you, man. Like, I'm in love with entrepreneurship, and I'm in love with watching people take something, create something, put some marketing behind that something, getting that into the marketplace. Like that, it's a beautiful. And so what you're doing with not just your podcast, with your video production company, everything that you're doing is super amazing. I am so proud of you for what you're doing, and you should be ridiculously proud. I know a lot of people in this community are proud, so I love you, girl. You keep doing what you're doing. You're changing lives is what you're doing. You're changing lives. Yeah, so.
It's all about being authentic, and big thing this year is just taking action. Anyone can have 1,002 different ideas. Like, this is an idea forever.
Is that your theme for the year, taking action?
Taking action.
So my theme, I every year I have a word. My word this year is proactivity. Mm-hmm. Everybody on my team, when I speak to it's about being proactive. Don't sit, run. Yeah. What are you doing? Next step. Everything's about the next step. Yes. I love that. Yeah. Taking action.
Sit there all day and create the map of what I want to do. And I'll watch, I always say this has been said a million times on the podcast, but my dad is the exact version of me. Then he's an artist and he owns his own business. And so I can watch him doing the same cycles that I'll do, and I'll become self-aware from the outside perspective. And I'm like,
yes,
take action. Because he'll sit there and make a full map of what he wants to do. And I'm like, well, if you just started the first 2 steps, it's going to change about 40 different times. That hard work you just put into it.
Well, to allude on that, and I know you see this, and this is something that absolutely breaks my heart. I speak about it a lot. Is there's a lot of really great ideas. Like there's a lot of brilliant ideas, but there's a severe lack of action on those ideas. And that scares me. Like, you know what scares me is being on my deathbed and not taking action on some of the things that I thought would have been great. Yeah. That scares me more than anything. I would rather fail, and I fail aplenty. I'd rather fail than never know. Yeah. Like, and so I challenge people, if anybody's listening to this podcast, like, as this thing gets out of the market, like, if you have a really good idea, do something about it, because somebody else is. Absolutely. Somebody else will.
Yeah. And probably at the same time, too, don't be upset if someone's doing the same thing that you're already doing. Mm-hmm. It's going to be completely different. Mm-hmm. It's 2 different people are doing it. But yeah, that circles back to like one of those core quotes that I hold on that someone told me. I didn't know who the person was until I was on the plane back home. But he told me he's failed multiple times in his business, and you'll hit rock bottom. The whole goal is to just continue being persistent and pushing forward. Like, you're going to absolutely fail, but you have to learn from those failures. That was Charles Schwab.
Amen. Yeah.
I have no clue who he was.
Yeah. Well, I think there's more to be learned from rock bottom than being on top. I've learned more from my darkest hours, from really, really scraping by. I learned more about business and myself as an individual being rock bottom than ever on top. And I don't even know if I'm on top right now. I know that I'm on a pursuit to increase and rise and go and grow. I don't even know what on top is really, right?
On top of what we were last
Right, yeah, we're a little bit better today than yesterday.
Yeah.
But so people have to understand that there's more to learn from plateaus, and there's more to learn from failure, however you define it, or a setback, however you define that. There's more to learn there than grow, right? Than being on top. Yeah.
You got to place your ego aside.
Yeah.
Absolutely, not be upset and just, it's like a game. That's why I also like working with you. You said that like way back whenever we first met, is that you look at everything like a game. And like very much so, that's how I look at business. You just got to.
It is a game.
This algorithm isn't working. Let's just switch it up. All right, this is working. Stick
Yeah.
with that.
Amen.
I love it all. So, do you ever get overwhelmed? It's so funny. 'Cause it's two different answers always. Normally the calm, cool, collected, like people I think would be crazy. They're like, oh, what's stress? I never get overwhelmed.
So I own 6 companies now. I have 3 daughters. I have a lot of employees. I think I'm more overwhelmed in the fact that so many people count on me and I can't let their families down. So for my employees, like if I don't make payroll, they don't get paid and their family doesn't eat. That is a big burden. Like that is a scary, scary thing. So yeah, there's times where I get overwhelmed, but with age, I'll say this, and this is true. So like with age, there's a level of maturity that comes. And now that I'll be 43 in September, I don't scream at my kids. Now, when Anna pushes my buttons and I find food in her bed, which she's grounded right now, I texted her mom last night, take her phone. Yeah. She's grounded. Anna, if you're listening to this, you're in trouble. So do I get a little bit, over some food in the bed? Yeah. But overall, I'm able to kind of keep my calm and speak things through and think things through, even from a business level. Paul Brown will tell you, Paul, my one of my better half in a cent, Paul will tell you that I'm a little bit jump the gun sometimes, and I'm quick to act sometimes on certain things, which I'm doing a better job of kind of thinking through, right? But getting to being overwhelmed, yeah, I get overwhelmed. And when I do get overwhelmed, I have to take deep breaths. I just have to take a minute to think and breathe, and then it's typically all better. And sometimes you just have to shut it down. Working for yourself, a lot of people are like, oh man, I want to do that. It looks like your life is amazing. And yeah, there are some amazing aspects to the life that I live. There's also a lot of stress and pressure with entrepreneurship. But one of the benefits is if I want to shut it down at 1 o'clock Friday and turn my phone off, I can. I don't have anybody to answer to, right? Outside of my dealers, my dealer clients, like my clients in the auto business that I own, like they can call me on Christmas. I'm taking their call because it's an intimate partnership, but my intimate partners don't call me on Christmas, right? So I just have learned to shut it down. And so, yeah, you got to take a minute sometimes. You got to unplug, go for a walk at La Vista, So, yeah, to answer your question, you're dang right I get overwhelmed. And it's important to listen to your body. My girlfriend Sylvia will tell you that she has introduced a wonderful thing in my life. It's called television, okay? For years, I never watched TV. I just thought it was like counterproductive. Well, guess what? Television is actually therapy. If you can pick a show or two and you plan a time to watch, treat yourself with the show, because it takes all the stress out of your life. It takes all of everything happening in your business and your personal life goes away within that hour, right? She brought Suits to me. I don't know if you ever watched Suits. My goodness, that's, Harvey's my me. I love Harvey. Yeah. I love Harvey. Yeah. Yellowstone, like things like certain shows, like I get in Ted Lasso, like, so that's what I do when I'm stressed out is I'll treat myself with a glass of wine. I'll grill some stuff and I'll watch a show. So that's a long-winded version. Yeah, dang right I get stressed out over one. Yeah. You like it?
What are some goals? That's crazy. So unrealistic goals, like 10 years from now, because you know how things change. Like I can't even have a plan for 6 months from now. I have no clue where I'll be. But what's some unrealistic dreamer goals that you would like to achieve in the next 10 years?
Well, I have a couple of goals, and I don't. So listen, you use the term unrealistic. I live a life of I don't believe in that. I believe that if I want it, I'll get it. Yeah. That's what I believe. Yeah. I believe if you work hard enough and you connect with the right people and you possess a relentless mindset, then you can get pretty much anything you want. Now, am I going to be a surgeon? No, I'm not, because I'm not going to school, okay? Yeah. So I'm not going to be a surgeon.
And you're not passionate about that.
Not passionate about that. I have a goal of building $100 million company, and I'm going to. Mm-hmm. I'm already on my way, well on my way. So if you want to answer the question, if you want to add an unrealistic caveat to that, I want to build $1 billion company. Easy. But I think I could also do that. So with that being said, I mean, I've got some pretty lofty goals. Really, I've got some lofty goals for my team. Mm-hmm. See, I'll talk about my company. So my real estate companies, I have a business partner, Ali Kitchell, who is a dear friend. I love him. Without him, I wouldn't be here. He has been a mentor to me. He showed me real estate as a young boy. So do I have some goals? Real estate is running and running and running. Martial arts is running and running. My speaking business is starting to really, really take off. But my baby, my fourth and sometimes favorite child, is Ascent Dealer Services. And my goal is not really just for me, is to grow each. I want to make several multimillionaires on my team. Mm-hmm. I've got a couple players on my team. I'll brag on Cindy. Mm-hmm. Cindy is going to be a multimillionaire, and I'm going to do whatever it takes to make that. That's my commitment to her and her family. Mm-hmm. You know, I got guys like Matt that are a huge advocate to the agency that are blessings, and he's just a special breed. You know, I got Paul Brown, I've got Chad White, I got Bill Van Noyen, I got Will Ramsey. You know, I've got a team, Sylvia. I've got a team of people that I want to grow to the next level to build wealth for themselves so they can make change in their family and leave a legacy. So that's a pretty lofty goal, is to make multimillionaires within my team. Yeah. I want to do a TED Talk. You know, I want to speak. I love doing what I do, but I think my true purpose, my mantra is speak, inspire, change, those 3 words. I think the Lord put me on this planet to speak to as many people as possible, to inspire those people to do more, and together we are going to change this world for the better. And we need that right now. This world is messed up, and I don't want to get into politics, but we have a crazy world that we're in. It's not the same anymore. And I don't want to talk about left or right. I mean, because it's gone, in my opinion, far left weird, and it's far right. Like, we need to get a little bit more to the middle. Let's use logic, common sense, a servant leading heart, and let's help each other. Like, that's what we need more of in this world. And so I have goals to speak on stages all over the world. I want to speak to the youth. I want to let the youth know that you're not your past, you're not your parents. You may be where you are today in an unfortunate scenario, but it doesn't mean that's where you got to stay. There's a better way. Let me show you. I want to teach people and coach people and speak to people. I really want to get involved in communities where there's a lot of underprivileged youth. I've got goals for Alton. You know what? This is my town. I just bought a house, my dream home in Alton. I was in Godfrey. My businesses are in Alton. Well, guess what? Now I'm a resident of Alton. I may be a mayor of this town one day. I might run this city. Well, I know what I can do here. And I want to help as many people. I imagine just in our 4 walls of our city, imagine knowing that there's not a single kid going without food. Imagine that. Yeah. Imagine not a single kid in our community goes without Christmas. So you don't have Johnny showing up to Alton Middle School with his new Jordans and freaking the 5 pairs of shoes and all the clothes and the thousands of dollars that Santa brought. But then you got Shelly over here that got nothing because Shelly's parents are alcoholics, living on the system, refusing to get off the system, and Santa just decided not to show up. What if every kid in our community was treated the same. That's what I'm going to do. So we were talking, I don't know if it's unrealistic. Maybe it is. I don't know. No. But with you, with help from you and other business people, I talked to Al Womack about this a lot. I believe in giving in private. Mm-hmm. You'll never see me announce my charity. It's annoying. It's not what. It's like, look at me. No, you're not supposed to do it. No. You're supposed to give in private. Mm-hmm. But I want with a team of superhumans like you, I want to come together and make sure this town, there is no youth. I'm sorry. If you're a drug addict adult, you're going without food. All right. I'm sorry. Listen, I still love you and I care for you and I want to mentor to you and I want to try to help you, but it's the kids that I want to help first because they have an and they have an unfair advantage. Yeah. They have it's unfair that some of these children are brought up into the scenarios that they're in, and we need to mentor those. So I don't know if you would say realistic goals. I want to make sure my community's fed. I want to make sure Christmas, and a lot of it, my business partner, Steve, who unfortunately passed away, his big thing was Christmas and kids. So I'm trying to figure out the foundation that I want to create. I'm thinking about the Steve Oldenburger Foundation, I think that would be really cool. Yeah, so.
Absolutely. I think it's all possible, and it's all about just connecting and giving power to those that are in the community, because you definitely bring the power, absolutely, 100% in direction. And we already have so many amazing organizations.
Yes, we do. We do.
We just all work together and push hard.
Well, think about it too. And maybe we put this on our list to talk about is, it's June now, right? Mm-hmm. Well, before you know it, we're going to be in fall and we're going to be at Thanksgiving and now it's Christmas. I think we need to start planning now. Maybe this year do some type of a fundraiser. Maybe even use Al Womack for an example. Get a hold of Al, be like, hey, listen, we're going to try to raise $50,000 this year for Christmas. The goal is to make sure as many underprivileged families in our community have a legitimate Christmas. Yeah. Have him start finding the families because he's so plugged in and he wants to serve. Yeah. And so this is just an example. I'm not saying we're doing this, but this is an example. But you put a fundraiser of $50,000. You and I reach out to all these incredible, the Riverbend Growth Association, Alton Main Street. Get a hold of Sarah. Let's get a few of us together around a table. And let's find some families and find some funding so these kids can be blessed. Yeah. Let's do it.
100% possible. Yeah. I think there's just an insane amount of passion, especially for our community, not just no one's really turned inward themselves. So I think it's easy. This podcast will come out around that time. I watch it'll already be done.
Yeah, right?
We're manifesting.
Yeah.
I'm so excited for what's happening in our community and what's possible. I think just action. We gotta take action.
It's taking action, and here's the thing about this community, and I talk about it a lot. For anybody who's followed me knows that I'm in love with Alton, and I have the honor and the privilege to travel all over the country. There's not a city I haven't been to. Our business is all over this country, and there is nothing like Alton. People ask me, where do you want to retire? Where's your dream? Where do you want to be? Where's your favorite place you've ever visited? I hear it all the time, and I love Southern California. Yeah. I love the state of Texas. I love New York. I love Philadelphia. I love Fort Lauderdale. I love all these amazing places that I do business. Yeah. But there's nothing like Alton. Mm-hmm. Alton's home. I land in Lambert, I grab my bag, jump into my car, I drive over that Clark Bridge, and I'm reminded of what real beauty is. Yeah. It's real beauty. There isn't nothing like this anywhere. There's nothing like this in the country. And we have the beauty of the River Road. We have the charm of downtown. We've got great restaurants. But most importantly, we have wonderful people in this community. This is a true community. People say hello. People hold the door every morning at Quick Trip. I'm holding the door for somebody or somebody's holding the door for me. Mm-hmm. Good morning. How are you? Guess what? I was in Orange County last week with my firstborn child, who's a financial disaster, by the way. I'm still recovering. I'm still recovering from shopping in Newport Beach. But guess what? People aren't as friendly there. No. For Southern Cali peeps, I love you. I love you. I really do love you. But you're not as friendly there. Okay? LA, you're not as friendly. But guess what? In Alton, we got a lot of charm here. There's a lot of good here. There's a lot of forward-thinking entrepreneurs here. There's a lot of wonderful things in Alton. Alton is the best little town in the country. I'll take that to my grave. I love this town. This is my town. My Alton is what this is.
I think when I was in high school, 10 years ago, I graduated. All I wanted was to get the hell out of here. I was like, there's nothing to do, nothing happening. But now I'll see someone post or share something where it's like, born in Alton, raised in Alton, getting the hell out of Alton. Stuff like that. And I'm like, why?
It's immaturity.
Like,
You got to admit,
come back.
you said it best 10 years ago. You graduated. You didn't have the maturity that you have now. And I think it's really easy for us to hate. Hate is easy. Like, it's easy for people to hate. People will spew hate before they spew love. Because it's easier. Okay? And that's what most people do. People follow the crowd, right? So hate, but at the end of the day, I think we're kind of programmed to go, I'm getting out of here. Like my daughter, Arabelle, said this to me over the weekend. Dad, as soon as I graduate, I'm getting out of the house. I'm not living with you or Mom. I'm getting my own place. I'm like, great. I'm taking you off my payroll. You're paying your own. That, Arabelle Rose, as much as I love you, little girl, and I support you, and I'm going to be cheering for you, but goodness gracious, don't threaten me with a good time. I'd love for you to pay your own bills. I would love for that. Let's make that a plan.
Yeah. I love that, yeah. I was real big on that from my parents. My dad was not as big as you, but honestly, you're like, girls are probably living in your shadow no matter what. So that was like a big passion for me. I was like, I get the hell out of my dad's shadow. I gotta
do your own thing. Be an individual.
So I used to be Carmen Farrell's daughter. Always growing up, I was like, Farrell's kid. Now I'll take him out. And he's like, oh, you're Megan Farrell's dad?
I love it.
Trips up so much. I'm like,
I love it. I love it.
But yeah, no. So any fun thoughts that you have?
I've got a lot of thoughts. So asking me any final thoughts. No, I can leave on this note here is do something nice for somebody today. You know, here's the thing, like the way it makes you feel when you are serving somebody else is somewhat selfish. So the joy that you get in your heart by helping somebody else in need is just an incredible feeling. Like, I challenge you today, and I don't know when this podcast will come out, but whenever it comes out, whoever is hearing this, pick up your phone and send 5 random people that you love a random text message. Let them know that you care about them and you're thinking about them. Heck, why don't you take it up a notch? Pick up the phone and call somebody. Absolutely. And let them know that you appreciate them and take them to coffee, take them to lunch, take them to dinner. You know, I got a handful of really close friends, and I'll just use an example. Lance DeMond. Lance DeMond is an elite business person in this community. His father's an elite businessman, so he's coming down an entrepreneur lineage. But when I'm on the phone with Lance, I tell him I love him. Every single time. We do not hang up the phone without telling each other we love each other. We need to do more of that. Absolutely. I tell my daughters all the time, you don't know the last time you're going to speak to somebody. And they're like, Dad, let's not get morbid and talk about death. No, it's important to talk about death because death is a real thing. We're all dying every single day, just a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. We have a time clock. We don't know when the time clock is going to expire. Guess what? We need to slow down. We need to tell people that we love them most, how much we love them. And we need to go out of our way and help and serve people. So my final thought is this, is tell people how much you love and how much you care, because it makes a difference. And you can shift somebody's mood immediately with a positive message. A message of gratitude can radically shift somebody's day to then pay that gratitude forward. Imagine if 90% of our population had the mindset of servant leadership and gratitude and love. What would our world look like? What would our workplace look like? What would our streets look like? What would our communities look like? What would our school systems look like? What would our community, how much would it change if we adopted that mindset? So that is my final thought, is a thought of love and gratitude. And we will change the world with that.
You just have to put that little bit of energy into it. It's not that much. And
absolutely.
Be aware of it. Yeah. I learned it from Girl Scouts. It was like 3 random acts of kindness a day. So I continued that. And then in the wedding industry, I always, if anyone ever has like something about their appearance or something like that during the wedding day, that I can tell they put a lot of effort in, absolutely 100% compliment them. Or any which way I can give someone a little bit of good energy.
Absolutely.
Good karma out there constantly.
Absolutely.
Pays off.
It does. It makes them feel good and it makes you feel good.
Yeah.
You know?
Somehow comes back around.
Well, the universe will reward you. This here, I talk about the law of attraction. If you put positive energy into the universe, if you declare positive statements, you do the right things and you praise people, the universe rewards you for that 10x.
Absolutely.
So.
Nice. Take action. Get out of your own fucking way.
True statement. And you can buy the book on Amazon, by the way. You're gonna.
I bought it and read it like pretty freaking quick whenever you put it out there.
Here's what I'll do.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm feeling generous.
Oh.
You know what? I'm feeling generous.
Yeah.
Anybody in our community that listens to this podcast, if they want a free signed copy of my book,
Yes.
shoot me a message.
Yeah.
Follow me on Facebook, on Instagram. Shoot me a message. I will ship it to you
Absolutely.
at no charge.
I love that.
So.
I think we'll get a lot out of it.
Oh, yeah.
I got a lot out of it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? I may need to reread it. I'm kind of in my way right now on a few things.
Yes.
I'm thinking about rereading it so I can get out of my own way.
Yes.
So,
That's
yeah.
the way to do it.
Yeah.
So I call this a successful podcast.
I had fun. We always have fun, though.
Yes.
So, yeah.